Welcome to the Hamsey Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is Wednesday, August 22, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 676. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 617. There were 11 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and no new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 650,000 contracts traded on the VIX today, with 95 million in total premiums paid. Pretty good volume here on the VIX today. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio for September, we saw a 0.7 reading, which is neutral, with 55% of the total premiums paid. For October, a 1.5, which is also neutral, with 29% of the total premiums paid. And in November, a 0.034, with 14% of the total premiums paid. Very bearish reading. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We have a flat day, we have a doji on the chart. Interesting that this happens exactly after the day we make a new high for the year and an outside day reversal. We are a little bit below positive 1 sigma, but we could call it positive 1, positive 2 sigma channel still. You could see here how sigma channel width is contracting here and it's going lower. The reason is that we are not going higher anymore. For CI, we turned red a couple of weeks ago and now we're starting to head down on CI and CI diff. We're gonna have to wait and see if we're able to hold these levels or if we're gonna go even on a bigger pullback. To watch the intraday action, let's go here to the 30-minute chart and we're gonna see what happened here. We can see here we continue the selling off from yesterday, and after at midday we started bouncing somewhat around here. FOMC minutes came in, a big pop after they said that they were going to do more easing basically, and the market liked that news somewhat, and then we put in a new high and then just sold off into the close a little bit. So basically not much of an action rather than a short-term day trade here after FOMC minutes. On the support, pivot, and resistance, we could see here in the morning we broke pivot. We talked about that yesterday, and we were not able to go to support number 1, which is at 1404. We did sell off quite a bit after we broke pivot, but then we just went back at the pivot and broke to the upside. We continue to be above pivot for the weekly chart, and our target would be 1425 here on the upside. If we break, we're still looking for 1404, and below that 1390. Those are gonna be pretty important levels here to check. And of course, if we go to the 1425, we'll be looking for a new high of the year if we do break that to the upside. Now another interesting chart we have to look at today, GLD. Big update today, broke out the range we had. We were talking about it yesterday. We wanted some confirmation here. Well, today we got this confirmation, outside day reversal to the upside. Very interesting. After yesterday's gap up, we talked about it. We talked about this 60.5 level, 200-day moving average. We wanted to come and test here. Well, we got that today here. We closed at 1650, exactly the target we wanted to see. And now we want to see if we are able to break here the 200-day moving average to the upside. And of course, gold popped today because of the new QE that it's probably going to come sometime here in the future. Again, no breakout of 200-day moving average. We are slightly below it, but nothing here going on. Of course, gold is now outside the range we've been trading so far. So a new concept here on gold. Bullish above the 200-day moving average here. We have a close above it. We want to maybe come and test it to the downside tomorrow, intraday, and close higher for the outside day. Maybe that would be a pretty good test to the upside, confirm the breakout, and a new trade to upside. If we do get here for new bullish positions on gold, we're looking for the 64, 66 level. Those are gonna be pretty important levels on gold, but on the downside we have a lot of support in case we go down again. Let's go to the 60-minute chart to look at support, pivot, and resistance. And here you could see we talked about this level yesterday, of course, 160.50. We are right now at weekly resistance number 3. It's important to know that we are a little bit overextended on the pretty short term. This does not mean that we're gonna fall tomorrow or anything. Just saying we are at positive 3 sigma, we're at resistance number 3, and we are at the 200-day moving average. So if you're establishing new positions, this may be a time to be a little bit cautious for new longs here. But that's, again, we got a great new couple of days and a great week for GLD so far. Let's go here to the weekly chart pretty quickly. And we could see here we broke 0.6. We wanted some confirmation a couple of weeks ago. We've been flirting with 0.6 and now we broke it to the upside. Next target would be positive 3 sigma on the weekly chart, 164. Of course, this volatility is pretty tight here. We've already talked about that. And we were waiting for either a breakdown or a breakout. And looks like we're getting a breakout. So we're looking for with the target 64.66 on gold, and that would be here the trade. Again, we'll be very cautious here on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we're looking at the 200-day moving average, weekly resistance number 3, and also at positive 3 sigma. So maybe wait for a little pullback to start some longs, or maybe wait to see if we're gonna bounce lower from this 200 MA we just talked about. Okay, we're gonna look here at NDX. Here we have the daily chart for NDX. We were almost 0.5% higher for the day. And again, we're trying to take the highs of the year. We continue to be on positive 2 sigma channel, and our next target on NDX is 28.20. That's gonna be a pretty good level here on the upside, new high for the year. And of course, most of this is Apple driven. After yesterday's pullback in Apple, today it went down and up again. We're gonna look at Apple's chart for intraday actions here. Next target on NDX, we're gonna be weekly resistance number 1 at 28.04. We already touched that level here this week, and next level 28.28. So we have this 28.04 first, and then we're looking for the 28.20. Now let's go to Apple. Has been a big mover here these days. We're approaching the new probably iPhone release on September 12th. So here we're getting a lot of numbers. Yesterday we had a big down day for Apple after it reversed from making an all-time high. You could see it here. Made an all-time high and then just started dropping. Today we sold off on the first hour of the trading market, and then we just bounced back higher, finishing at the highs of the day. We're almost about to take yesterday's high, so above these levels we're making new highs for the year and all-time highs for Apple. This is a pretty big component on NDX, so keep an eye on Apple here. Next target is 681. That's gonna be a pretty important level for Apple, and of course 700 would be next. On the downside, we're looking for 640. That's gonna be a daily pivot. Below that level, good sell-off could start here on Apple after this big run-off it has on the late days. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your HAMC Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.